VAR decisions in the Premier League. These pieces typically analyzed the major incidents from each weekend's matches and discuss whether VAR decisions were correct according to the VAR protocol and the laws of the game. In the case of Kai Havertz's penalty, AFC Bournemouth's disallowed goal, Ryan Christie's potential red card, and Manchester City's penalty against Wolverhampton Wanderers, each incident would be examined to understand why certain decisions were made or not made by the on-field referee and VAR officials. The review would likely delve into factors such as the specific rules governing penalties, fouls, offside decisions, and the use of VAR technology. It might also consider angles and replays available to the VAR officials and whether the decisions align with the overall aim of VAR, which is to assist referees in making correct decisions while minimizing errors that could affect the outcome of matches. In the incident you described from the Arsenal vs Bournemouth match, it seems that Havertz went down in the penalty area after a challenge from Bournemouth goalkeeper Mark Travers. The on-field referee, David Coote, initially awarded a penalty to Arsenal. However, the decision was then reviewed by the VAR official, Peter Banks. After reviewing the incident, the VAR decided that there was no clear and obvious error in the referee's decision to award the penalty. Therefore, the penalty decision stood, and Bukayo Saka subsequently scored from the spot for Arsenal. VAR decisions can often be contentious, as they involve subjective judgments based on video replays and interpretations of the rules. In this case, despite the review, the VAR officials deemed that the original decision to award a penalty was justified based on the available evidence. In the scenario you described regarding Bournemouth's complaints about the penalty decision, it seems there was debate over whether the contact on the goalkeeper warranted a penalty. This situation highlights the subjectivity inherent in VAR decisions and the inconsistency that can sometimes arise in the application of the rules. While some instances of contact on the goalkeeper leading to goals being allowed to stand have occurred in the past, each case is evaluated based on its own merits. In this specific incident, despite potential complaints from Bournemouth's manager, Andoni Iraola, and the softness of the penalty decision, the VAR officials ultimately upheld the on-field referee's decision to award the penalty. The decision not to overturn the penalty once given might stem from the VAR's reluctance to interfere with subjective judgments made by the referee unless there is clear and obvious evidence to suggest an error. However, the lack of consistency in such decisions can lead to frustration and debate among fans, players, and managers. Comparisons to previous VAR decisions, such as the ruling out of Chelsea's late goal at Aston Villa, further emphasize the inconsistency in VAR application. Each decision is made based on its own circumstances, which can sometimes lead to differing outcomes and perceptions of fairness.